Hi, welcome once again, good students. In this episode, we're going to be looking at the plot summary of the new set text in Town, Fathers of Nations, by B.Vitta. The title is very suggestive, Fathers of Nations. But Fathers of Nations is, of course, an honorific title which will be given to a man or men considered to be the driving force behind the establishment of their country, his or their country, state, or nation. Again, Fathers of Nations supposed to serve as an honorific title given to a man or men considered the driving force behind the establishment of their country, state, or nation. So it is symbolic that these fathers of nations that are settled in Africa, they've been awarded an honorific title given, but again it's ironic. It's ironic to the aftermath of the experiences and the endeavors of quote-unquote the fathers of nation, that if they are considered to be the driving force behind the establishment of their country, then to a point, as Africans, they have failed or we have failed in that particular concept. So let's see what are some of the themes and maybe the endeavors, or what the writer Paul B.Vitta is trying to maybe share that are relevant to the contemporary society that we are currently living in. Welcome. Fathers of Nations by Paul B.Vitta. Again, the Fathers of Nation is an honorific title given to a man considered the driving force behind the establishment of his country, state, or nation. Fathers of Nation is a story of forming from different parts of Africa whom, despite going through various misfortunes, they get together to try and influence African head of state to approve a document that could transform the continent's economy and wealth. Each of them has suffered under bad leadership in their respective countries. They bear a grudge against the system and have a reason for wanting it to change. Professor Karanja Kimani from Kenya has lost his wife to a former university colleague, now turned politician. As if that is not enough, his only daughter dies in a freaky accident on the narrow roads, a death that could have been avoided if the roads were made better. Pastor Chiamaka from Nigeria, is a wild, intense man whose message on government accountability earns him days in jail and says he's banned from preaching. Dr. Abiola from also Nigeria is an academic ditched by his American wife. He advises African heads of state but hates his role in offering theoretical solutions. Comrade Ngobile from Zimbabwe, on the other hand, is a failed politician who finds himself on the wrong side of the political divide after independence, suffering from being Ndebele when the Shona resident embarked on suppressing his community. Not to mention, his only wife perishes in a later genocide, ignoring the hilarious antics of African government. The author also succeeds in pointing out the paradoxes in immaturity and idiocy practiced by African political systems. The book is not so much attacking the African leaders or a tale of the failure of African leadership, but it accounts of the heart-wrenching stories of the men involved in their journeys and how they are found in strength in adversity. Readers of this book, students and those who love literature, will see the similarities in the political failings of each country with each person's story. A short history of their country is displayed. Some of the outrage is the characters witnessed who were subject to. This also is revealed, but while one could easily conclude that the book is a challenge to the patriarchy and the evident negative masculinity widespread on the continent, given that all the leaders are men and their title is Fathers of Nations, it is not that simple. It does not simply say that men are the problem in Africa, seeing how it gives us different accounts of masculinity. On one hand, there is the haplessness leadership of men that leads to miseries of the people represented by the African leaders. On the other hand, there are four broken men heroes who represent the values of humanity, empathy, and vulnerability. The book has the air of the biblical metaphor of how the cornerstones that the continent rejected became the vital to its building. Humor brings the story alive as it narrates with a light, jaunty air. There is a blithe, devil-may-care candy and irreverence. 49 foreign heads of state tour in Banjul for the summit, all looking happy. And why not? And they notice caps from troublemakers in their home countries. Kenya and Uganda, a group of mutually mistrustful neighbors, better at killing institutions, they established jointly instead of measuring them. They had just killed an editorial university they founded together only a few years earlier. Written passage in the book, it is all the book's appealing that it sets itself apart by delving into the fate of Africa and explaining why it is where it is today and what can be done to take it forward. The story is sporadically leaving just enough suspense to wonder what happens next. Father of Nations sets itself apart, there providing vivid metaphors for the situation in Africa. Good students, this of course marks the end, but again not really the end of this coursework that we've just embarked on. And you would want again to go through this particular plot summary for the second time, because once I believe myself that it will not really be very clear unless you've read the old text. So if it's your first time that you're coming across this, I would suggest that first of all you go back to the previous videos. We've done chapter 1 and 2 and 3, the reading of the Fathers of Nations by B.Vitta, and that maybe will enlighten you when you're coming across this particular analysis. Stay put. In the next episode, we'll be talking about the endeavors, the plots, the setting, the characters, and the symbolic aspect of the text to the contemporary society. Good day for now.